Now that you have a local WordPress installation, let's mess with it. We'll check out the file structure, play with how WordPress connects to the database by changing the URL, breaking the website, and then fixing it again by editing the database tables. You'll also learn where user information is stored in the database and change a username directly, something that's not possible through WordPress itself. In this video, you'll learn several skills that can help you save a hacked or broken website and learn to hack the database yourself to accomplish what you need. Sweet! Make sure you have MAMP open and the servers are running before you can navigate to your local development environment on your computer. Or if you're going to use your SiteGround live environment, navigate to the users area at ua.siteground.com and click the login button and go ahead and log in with your credentials. Once you're there in the user area, you can go down to the right-hand side and click Go to Admin Panel. I'll usually right-click and open it in a new tab so that I can maintain the SiteGround user account area in a different tab. When you go to that new tab by using that Go to Admin Panel button, SiteGround will log you into your WordPress dashboard automatically. Alternatively, as you know, you can navigate, opening a new tab, to the URL of your SiteGround site. And if you scroll down and click Site Admin, or just add the /wp-admin at the end of the URL, and you'll be right there. Of course, if you do that first, before logging in using the SiteGround dashboard, you'll get this login page and you'll have to put in your username and your password. For all the lessons in this course outside of the provided student sandbox, you can either use your SiteGround live site or your local development environment using MAMP, whichever you prefer. Go ahead and log in. And let's explore where themes and plugins are located. Appearance Themes is where we'll see the default theme 2016 active and a couple other themes that come with WordPress. And then if you click Plugins, Installed Plugins, you'll see that they're located in a folder, the two plugins that come with WordPress, Akismet to prevent comment spam, and Hello Dolly. Let's play with Hello Dolly. Activate that plugin. An original plugin by founder of WordPress, Matt Mullenweg, gives you a quote from the musical Hello Dolly at the top of your administration page. If we look at the file structure under MAMP htdocs WP Dev Course 1, where the plugins and the themes are located, now it's important to know that you don't want to change any files under WP-admin, WP-includes, or any of the files in the core structure besides the config file. But the WP-content file is where all your content, including uploads, once you upload a file to the media library, it'll create an uploads folder here, and the plugins and themes are located in these folders, obviously. And if you're using your SiteGround live environment, you can go back into the SiteGround user area and click Go to cPanel. The control panel will give you access to that file manager that we used in previous videos. So inside the cPanel, I'll go down a little bit further to where I can see files, and I'll click File Manager. Under WP Content, you can see that I have plugins and themes, and this time I have Upgrade and Uploads as well. Upgrade is created automatically by WordPress for updates of the software, and Uploads is created for the media library. But under Plugins, there's my list of installed plugins. Now, if you end up with a plugin conflict where you have an active plugin or you activate one that has a conflict that breaks your site, an easy way to go in and rectify that situation is to go in via FTP if you're on a live web server, or here using Windows Explorer. You can go in and see which plugins are here. Here, this one, instead of being in a folder, being a very simple plugin, is just a single PHP file. If you go in and just rename a plugin file, I'll just put -rename after it. When you go back and log in to your dashboard in WordPress, go to the plugins page, look at which plugins I have activated, and it says the plugin hello.php has been deactivated. The plugin file does not exist. It's looking for a plugin from under a different file name, and because I renamed it, it deactivated the plugin, and then that can bring your website either back live or eliminate the plugin conflict if you are having one. So now, if I go back and into Windows Explorer, I just go back and rename that plugin back to what it was. This is one way to troubleshoot conflicts with your website as you're building it. You can see that if I refresh the page here in the WordPress dashboard, that plugin is now deactivated. And this is a good way to make your website and your dashboard back active again if you were having a plugin conflict. Now navigate to Settings, General. And let's look at the general settings here. We can see that one of the first couple of things we have is the site title and the tagline. But the WordPress address and the site address are the third and the fourth fields in the general settings panel. And you can see that the URLs are the same. But let's explore where these URLs are located within the database and find out how to change those and why we would in the first place. So if you navigate to the MAMP start page again, you can right-click and open the PHP My Admin panel in a new tab, which I've already done up here. And here we are in the database, and I can click the WP Dev Course 1. Go ahead and browse into your own database using the name that you used when you set up WordPress. And if you're using the SiteGround live site, you can go down to the database sections in the C panel and open PHP My Admin. It's the same exact utility that MAMP uses, and databases on the live site are located right here. These are the tables that WordPress installs automatically, and the URLs are located in WP_options. So if you click that once, you can see all the tables located here. And the first two are the site URL and the home. And in order to change these, you can click once and click edit over here. You can double click right here and change that to what you want. Now if the domain was pointed to something like wpdevcourse1.com, hit enter, and that will actually change the row inside of the table in the database.com. Now if I change those two, I can go back, and if I just refresh the dashboard here, you can see that the server wasn't found. Now of course I cannot access my website dashboard or the website itself through this domain name, wpdevcourse1.com, unless I own that domain name and I have the domain pointed to the server using name servers or the DNS settings in my domain name registrar. This is something you might run across as you migrate sites from either a staging environment into the live development or live server environment at your hosting company, or if you're moving sites that you're building in one place under a testing URL over to another live URL on the server, as well as if you're building a site at a testing URL and then you point the domain finally to the live URL instead of to a holding page or a coming soon page that you might have open while you're building the website. Now if you can't navigate to the website or the dashboard because the DNS settings are already pointed there, or you're using the wrong URL here, what happens if I try to go to localhost where I know the site is located? Localhost /wpdevcourse1/wp-admin. If I navigate there, there's a problem loading the page. Server's not found because it wants to redirect to wherever the database tells it to redirect. So on the server or in your home development environment, your local development environment, you can navigate back to the database And let's make this the correct URL for the site URL and the home URL so that I can actually continue building the site. If you remember, that would be localhost/WP dev course 1. And then I'll do the same thing with the home URL. And now I can be sure that if I want to go to localhost WP dev course 1, my website should be back working again. Yes, here it is. And I'm still logged in. So I could actually go to the dashboard and continue working on the site. So give that a try yourself. Break the website and then fix it again by editing the site URL and the home URL in the database. Okay, hopefully you have broken the website and then fixed it again by editing some rows inside of your database. Now let's take a look at some more of the file structure under themes. And I'm going to navigate to WP content and themes this time. I know that my theme that I have active is 2016. Let's go ahead and just verify that. Here it is. 2016 is the active theme. So I'm going to open 2016 and just take a look at the files in here. And one of the main files that performs some layout functions and defines how the content is displayed in WordPress is called the functions.php file. Sometimes this will be a file that you might make changes on to customize a website, but there's a best practices in terms of how to edit this file and where to edit it. Let's take a look inside WordPress. By default, the WordPress dashboard comes with, under the Appearance panel, an editor. This is a place where you can successfully edit things like the style sheet. But let's take a look over here. Under 2016, here is the functions.php file. Now we'll discuss creating child themes to successfully and properly edit the functions.php file without breaking the theme or even changing the parent theme at all. But for now, if we look at the functions.php file, it's got some PHP code in here that usually, if it's commented correctly and it makes sense, you can see that there's different functions that it has depending on the theme that you have open. But what if we come down here to the very bottom of the theme, and what if I go over here and by accident I get rid of a semicolon and then I update that file. Now here we go. I have a white screen. The website's not loading, and oh man, if I refresh the page, that's what's opening, a white screen. Well, did I just break the website? I wonder if my live website, let's refresh the website. Oh boy, I just broke my website completely. The live site, if I was working on it, is now producing a white screen for visitors, and I can't even get back into WordPress to edit that functions.php file and try to fix what I just broke. Well, similar to renaming a plugin, you can edit that functions.php file outside of the WordPress dashboard, and you can fix what you just broke. So let's go back into the file structure. I'll do this with Windows Explorer on my local machine, but in a live site I could go in via FTP and I could look for the files I need to edit. So I'm under htdocs. Here's my WP Dev Course 1 site. Under WP Content, Themes, 2016. Here's the functions.php file that I just edited in the WordPress dashboard. If I right click that, I'll open it in my text editor, Atom, my code editor. And as that's opening up, here it is, the file I was just looking at inside of WordPress. I can now access via FTP or using Windows Explorer. If I go to the bottom, I can see my missing semicolon. Now if I was adding some code, maybe copying and pasting some code into my functions.php file to add a functionality or something like that, and it broke the website, I could now delete that whole section and get back to where I was. Or hopefully I had made a backup of a working functions.php file and I could just restore that back to the web server using FTP. For now, I'm going to add my semicolon back in, hit Control S to save the file, and since that's just located here on my local machine, I don't have to upload it back to the server. It's already here. Let's go back to my white screen and refresh the page. Cross your fingers. I'm back in. Okay, my site is back working again. If I refresh the actual live site. Great. Take a deep breath. I've just fixed the site. So go ahead and break your own site. Open the functions.php file, remove a semicolon, and then save that, update the file, and then go ahead and go in via Windows Explorer, open the functions.php file in your code editor, replace what you